Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another Sacred Mountain Battle Report. This is a hobby time update. My friends have wondered where I've been for the last several months because I haven't been playing many games, but what I have been concentrating on is getting this epic 40K two sides put together and painted. These are all 3D printed, and I thought I'd go ahead and show off my Adeptus Titanicus as well with this video. I bought the Grandmaster edition and then also ended up buying, I believe, an additional Warhound or two, maybe a Reaver as well, when I first bought the game. Those are the, I guess, the custom faction. Then I have, starting with the 40K stuff, I have the Thunderhawk, Imperial Navy, some Whirlwinds. There's some Devastator squads and Rhinos there in the background, as well as those Land Speeder Tornadoes, and 4 Terminators and 4 Land Raiders, 2 sections of Predators, and 2 tactical factions of 6 Rhinos, all with missile launchers. Then the Chaplain and a Dreadnought. There's a Chaos Dreadnought and the Dark Apostle there, and then Wordbearer faction with, I believe, 8 Rhinos and tactical squads, two factions of Predators, or sections of Predators, 4 Land Raiders, 4 Terminators. These are Raptors, I think. These are Jump Troops, 6 of those, and then another 8 of Chaos Bikes. And you can see I believe these are not Vindicators. I can't remember what they're called right off the top of my head. Vindicators, I think. And then, of course, the Defilers. I'm not sure how good any of these models are because I haven't played Epic Armageddon ever, but I'm really stoked to get into it. And also, I must say, I've never played the new Adeptus Titanicus. It's a secret shame. I have all these models and basically unopened, uncracked rule books. These are all magnetized. These are my Chaos guys. Tried to get just a matched force. Oh, and there's some Hell Talons there on the 40K, or I'm sorry, the Epic AT terrain. I also have some 3D printed terrain that I've put together for Epic and Adeptus Titanicus. So I first started playing Games Workshop games back in the 90s, early 90s, with my neighbor buddy. I say neighbor, he lived about 10 miles away down a long dirt road, and he and I would play these specialist games because we didn't have any money, and we would buy one of the specialist games, and that's how we got into wargaming together. It started with BattleTech, but Adeptus Titanicus was the first game that I ever bought back in the late 80s, early 90s, and then I followed that up with Space Marine, and then I bought the second edition because it seemed like the rules changed. I mean, I was a barely literate feral child back then, and I still a barely literate feral adult at this point. So we didn't play much. I just painted a lot and set it up, and then we would get bored because neither one of us knew the rules very well, and then we wouldn't continue the game. But I recall that the game changed between the 2 editions, and there were a lot of cardboard chits with the next batch that I bought. These are some player aids for Epic Armageddon that I've laminated and printed up. And these are some magnetized weapons for AT and all the bits and bobs and aiming templates of Adeptus Titanicus. And here, that dice bag is still sealed from the factory. I'm sorry, as are those Warhound cards. It's kind of ridiculous. I've never played this game. That index card, what I do with all my miniatures is I'll write down the steps that I take to paint each of them, and the paint that I use, so I can paint match it later. It's a little OCD, I know, but it's just what I do. And then I put it with the miniature sets wherever I store them so I can come back to it. Okay, that was a pretty quick one, and like I said, I like to give you guys how I store everything, and this is my last work in progress for Adeptus Titanicus and Epic Armageddon. It's an Imperator Titan. So far I've got about 40 to 60 hours 3D printing up to this step. It's been quite a project. so far I've been pretty stoked, and this was really one of the reasons that I wanted to start playing Epic, just because I just love the scale. Just such a grand, cool sci-fi scale. I'm not sure how I'm going to paint this guy yet. Maybe like that Invigilatus from that Hell's Reach video. So cool. And I gotta say, I hope Games Workshop doesn't come out with a 40k Epic game again, and it just stays dead and fan-based, because it's been so nice to not have to really worry too much about power creep and changing additions and meta changes and all that crap. Anyway, I'd recommend anybody check out the tacticalcommand.com website if you want to get into 40k Epic, and there's several editions. Anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in to another Sacred Mountain Battle Report Hobby Time update, and I think my next one will probably be Blood Bowl, because I might be playing that today.